All right, everyone, welcome back to the Litmus Test podcast. It's been about 8 months, and man, you guys will not believe what happened in these 8 months. I mean, what happened in 2014? Can you remember? Like, what were the major events in 2014, and compare that to the major events in 2020?
I don't
Anyways,
remember
we'll
at all.
we'll get into it throughout the hour. But welcome back, guys. We know we've been off for about 8 months, but things got pretty hectic in everyone's lives, and but you know what? We're back. We took a little hiatus, and now we're back to entertain our audience of 5 subscribers. But yeah, how are you doing, Sunith?
um, I'm doing pretty good, you know. Uh, I guess it's September now, so a new page is a new chapter is unfolding in all of our lives.
It is. Yeah.
But we're all we're all still under the guise, under what do you call it, the shade of COVID. Very interesting
Yes,
times.
the big Rona. And like, I don't even know where to start with that. I mean, I don't think I have to give much context because I'm sure everyone, literally everyone who's ever watching this is gonna be affected by it. But yeah.
Do you think there's anybody in the world who doesn't know what COVID is? There must be.
Actually, I was watching this podcast where this guy went out into the woods for like 3 years, and he came
Uh-huh.
out after COVID.
Okay.
And he came back and he was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like he was so confused. And he's like, "Yeah,
Mm.
man. Like, if you told me like 3 years ago that all this stuff would happen, I probably would have stayed in the forest for like 10 more years."
Mm.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
believe there was Jared Leto who went on like this silent retreat like before COVID started, before the pandemic, and then he came back in June, and he was like, "What the fuck happened in these 3 months?"
That's really funny actually.
Isn't that like the most Jared Leto thing ever?
Yeah, Jared Leto. You know, do you think Jared Leto talks to what's that guy? That not a hippie guy. The energy guy. I forgot his name.
The energy guy.
Um from forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand. Do you think he talks to Russell Brand?
I'm sure they've contacted each other and talked about their experiences.
I'm going to find out right now actually. Oh.
Yo, man, what do those guys do? Like, I know Russell Brand was like a nymphomaniac at some point in his life. Like, he had a
Russell
serious
Brand, right?
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely did. You know, I like his personality.
Yeah, but I like it too, but it's also like borderline like fake woke, you
You think
know?
so?
I think
Mi-
so. I mean, maybe it's
mm,
just the way he talks, but I don't know. That's the impression I've always got from him.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should look into it more.
Mm. I don't know. Like I don't know if he gives good advice, but he seems to be living a happy life.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, think about it. Like, you're like a famous actor slash comedian in Hollywood, and all of a sudden everyone knows, like literally everyone knows all of your problems. I mean, that must be like a tough position to be in. So the fact that he's out of it now and doing his own thing, I mean, that's commendable.
Hmm. He has he has his own podcast too, and
Oh, I know. I've seen his Logan Paul episode.
oh, he had a Logan Paul episode. Oh, he had an episode with David Lynch, which is like
Really?
yeah, it's kind of weird.
Isn't David Lynch like some weird like avant-garde type director?
Uh, I wouldn't say avant-garde, but he makes like weird movies. Yeah, he made Mulholland Drive. He made some other stuff too. Oh, that thing we want to watch. It's coming out. It's gonna be David Lynch too, isn't it?
Which one?
Is it David Lynch? The Netflix thing you sent me. I'm
Oh,
thinking.
right.
Is that David
I'm
Lynch?
thinking of ending things right.
Oh no,
Like
it's
it's
Charlie
not David.
Kaufman. It's Kaufman.
Yep, it's Coughlin,
Okay,
which is like same
awesome.
lane, I would say.
Have you seen this Kaufman movie?
Which one?
Have you seen any of them?
I've seen Spot or what is it? Eternal Sunshine for a Spotless Mind.
Yo, I want to watch that.
That's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. I know you've seen that other one, something New York, Syndicate New
Yeah,
York or some shit.
yeah, Synecdoche, New York.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that, so I'll get to it at
Yeah,
some point.
I mean it's a really weird film.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. So, anyways, I guess I'll just tell everyone my current situation in terms of COVID and like with schooling, because I'm sure people would love to hear about that. So, when everything went down in March, at the end of March, we were like about a month away from finals, and obviously this hit everyone in the university, including professors. And so we essentially had to do everything remotely online. And I'm not saying I cheated, but it was really easy to cheat. And a lot of people did it. And the averages for most of my classes ended up being very high after the finals. And so that was interesting. And about halfway during the summer, the university told us that we'll have the entire first semester to be online as well. Now, as soon as I heard that, two things came into my mind. One, I don't want to do that for my final year. And two, if I do that for my final year, will I be paying the same amount? And to the first question, or first response, I am doing it because I don't want to extend it for another year. And the second thing, I will be paying full, which sucks, but it is what it is. And it's going to be fully online with asynchronous testing, meaning all of the information for the course will be on the website, and I just have to go at my own pace and finish it that way. And some of my classes don't even have finals because it's like I said, it's easy to cheat, so they're just going to do some type of final paper instead, which I kind of don't mind because I've always wanted to do those types of finals rather than like multiple choice, short answer, those kinds of things. It's less pressuring. But yeah, at this moment, I'm just about 2 days away from school, and I'm just preparing for it. I'm actually not sure what to expect, but I will have a lot more time on my hands, which is good. Most of my time in university is spent either commuting, being on campus, or at social events. And I won't have either of those this year because I'll be living with my parents. And, I don't have too many friends in the city. Like, I have a few, but I don't think I'll be hanging out with them like every day because of COVID. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, same. I guess same thing happened to me. COVID struck during like the second half of my school year, of my semester. I mean, and honestly, man, like it sucked because like I don't like. I mean, I don't enjoy the academic part of school too much. It's all right, you know. It's not my favorite part. And then all the most important like fun part of school, like the social aspect, kind of got dissolved, and that's super annoying. um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I actually go to school in Ontario, but I live across Canada in Alberta, and like all of my friends could basically go home, but I had to fly across, and I didn't really want to do that. But I had to do that, and then next semester I had 4 months of school online, which turned out to be terrible in my opinion. Uh, I think Zane's gonna experience that now. Maybe he'll like it more than me, but I really did not enjoy it at all. Again, it's like the worst part of school, and none of the good parts, none of the socializing or independence or doing whatever you want, hanging out with friends, exploring a new lifestyle, almost independent adult lifestyle.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it was
And
a lot of like sitting in my home
and
learning.
for context, you're in engineering.
Yeah.
I'm in sciences. I study psychology.
Hmm.
So I'm sure there's going to be some different type of learning that's going to be happening. And I think for
Yeah.
engineering, it is more conducive to like in class learning because it is a lot about like machine learning and more about like software and I don't know. Do you do hardware?
We do hardware. So yeah, we have like labs which we need to be in person for, of course, right? There's like
Hmm.
physical stuff we need to do, and sometimes group projects, and all that stuff. Kind of, they had to figure out a way to make it online, and obviously that's not easy to do. And some of their solutions weren't awesome.
Hmm.
Apparently, my school was actually given like I don't know if this is true, but apparently the teachers in my school were told to like I guess give us more assignments to keep us like up to date and keep us like busy and keep us working,
Oh
which I thought was
goodness.
very annoying because I wasn't used to like this level of assignment or course load.
Yeah, that
So
sucks.
it
I
was
mean,
very cheese.
I have had like my syllabus for most of my courses. I'm missing two, but there haven't been many assignments, luckily. You know, like there's one that I
Mm.
have where it's quite extensive in terms of the amount of assignments because it's a computer science course. So I
Mhm.
guess they have to. But all my other courses, I've just had 2 assignments in total with the final exam, which is great.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's good. Yeah, like, if you don't have too many assignments, it should be fine. Well, you also have to keep studying and stuff, but
yeah.
it's not too bad.
Hey man, the way I look at it, I can spend this time like doing other things that I enjoy. Like for
Mhm.
example, I've always wanted to have like a proper regimen and proper routine when it comes to like most aspects of life. When it comes to sleeping, exercising, studying, maybe even reading. That's not school related. So I feel like I can use this year to properly set that up. And like I don't know, I have a thing with like routines where, like for example, over the summer, I had no routine, like negative routine. So I would wake up at like
Mhm.
three, like 3 in the afternoon, or like I would sleep at like 6 in the morning, and it was terrible. Now this would go on for like weeks
Mhm.
and weeks. But you know, whenever I got a job, like over the summer, I was almost forced into sleeping on time, and that made me feel really good because I don't know, like when you go on for weeks on end about like not having a routine, it kind of like you lose your purpose in a sense. You know, you're kind
Mhm.
of just like drifting through time, and
Mhm.
that's not a good feeling. So yeah, I think I'll enjoy it more simply because it will give me a purpose, and you know, there's like a goal that I can work towards,
Mhm.
and hopefully, I mean, I really don't want to move midway through the semester, so hopefully, even second semester is online personally, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, yeah, like, with routine, like, I move basically every 4 months, right?
Yeah,
So, sometimes, sometimes I form a routine by, like, the second month, and then I only get, like, 2 months of, like, usage out of it because as soon as I move, I kinda get knocked out of that entire mind state, and I'm in a new environment for, like, new things and new challenges, and now, like, I kinda reset my routine, and that's really annoying to me.
yeah, it sounds frustrating.
Yeah, it's super cheese. Um, but yeah, I'm getting back into the routine too. There was a time where I really I held routine in very high regard. Not that I don't do it now. I still do. But there was a time where I was like really into it. And I can't lie, that time was a very good time for me. Like mentally and like physically and emotionally. So yeah. I think routine it gets a stamp of approval from me.
Yeah, man, like you can look at it as it being annoying, or you could look at it as you being adaptable. You can adapt to
Mhm.
any environment and make good use out of it. So,
I do think adaptability is very overpowered.
of course, I mean,
Yeah.
like I feel bad for these. Well, not this year, but on any other year, I feel bad for first years because like adapting to being independent from your parents. It takes like such a long time to really get used to, especially if you don't
Mhm.
have the right people around you, or if it's just
Mhm.
yourself. I mean, that's even worse. But yeah, I mean, I think everyone must go through it in order to learn those skills for adaptability. But yeah, it's
Becoming
very
independent.
sorry,
Becoming independent?
becoming independent and also being able to shift environments and deal with any
Mm.
obstacles that come your way.
Yeah.
Because most times you live in residencies in first year, and
Mhm.
there aren't many obstacles in that sense because everything is provided for you, including food, housing, even your friend circle. I mean, you automatically form it just by being on floors with like 20 people. But
Mhm.
you know, once you start getting into like maybe second or third year, you start living with yourself. You know,
Mhm.
I feel like the skills you develop in first year, it really helps for second year in terms of like just being away from your family for so long and
Mhm.
just having a proper friend group by that point, hopefully.
Mhm. Yeah, I really hold the university experience in high regard. Like,
Mm,
because of that specifically. Yeah, like education, yeah, that's one thing. It's good. Obviously a lot of people are being turned off to education recently. Um, but like just the experience of just being kicked out of your comfort zone that you've been in for 18 years probably at this point. Um, I think it's so valuable.
yeah, like the experience of a college degree is priceless, not because of the education. It's just
Mhm.
because of everything else that comes with it.
Yeah. That being said, don't pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a college education.
Yeah. Oh man, dude. I mean, I look at those numbers sometimes, and I honestly don't think it's worth it.
Oh, no way. No, these guys are like in debt for like decades.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
Yeah, very scary. But we live in Canada, so you know.
Yeah, so it's not as bad.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Well, okay. You know how we get? I think a couple days ago we were talking about how there might be like a boom in babies.
Hmm.
Like, is that real?
Okay, I read the headline of the article. I didn't actually look into the
Oh,
metrics,
okay. Okay,
but
okay.
but it makes sense though, right? I mean, you've been stuck home alone for how long? Months on end. You're gonna end
Mm.
up slapping some cheeks. I mean, it's bound to happen, especially if you live with like your wife or your girlfriend.
Mm.
Like we talk about
Yeah.
going on Facebook and seeing baby posts all the time, whether it be announcements or deliveries. I mean, it's gonna happen.
That's true. That's true. Like maybe the babies at this time are like they give people a sense of purpose. Like they're not going to work. What else do you do?
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Okay. I wonder like what affects COVID. Not like what like cultural impact COVID is gonna have, you know?
Well,
Not necessarily like economic or whatever, but like, 50 years down the line or maybe 10 years down the line, how are we gonna look back on this time and how will we change from that?
well, if we want to stay away from economics, I think one of the biggest things is the change of workspace and work environments. Like people are
Mhm.
realizing that you can work remotely and in fact be more efficient because you're not traveling to work for like 2 hours a day. You're,
Mhm.
working at your own pace. You're not getting frustrated with your coworkers. There's not internal office politics. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
more efficient in that sense, and it ends up saving money with rent as well, with property rent.
Mhm.
So, I mean, maybe that might change. I heard that Twitter and Google employees are allowed to work permanently from home from this point forward. So
Mm.
that could be one big change. What else do you got?
Yeah, I I hope that does happen actually because that'll probably make people's quality of lives a bit better. Um, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. Like I don't know if it's gonna be adopted universally or like I don't know if it'll be adopted like 50% of companies will do this.
Yeah, I mean, it seems more realistic for tech companies to do it because all you really need is a computer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When it comes to like more corporate areas, like for example, if you're like an analyst,
Mhm.
then I'd say you need an office setting because then you need to do constant meetings and you need to be relaying with your supervisors and stuff like that. Um,
Mhm.
but anyways, I saw this article. This is the one that I'm reading.
Yeah.
So this is actually for the Philippines.
Yeah.
So it's not like worldwide or anything, but a baby boom is expected by 2021, with 751,000 babies to be born due to unplanned and teenage pregnancies during lockdown. So, I mean, that's not a number to, scoff at.
Mhm. Damn. Yeah. I'm excited to see what the future brings. Um, I feel like there'll be some sort of cultural stuff. Uh, I'm not exactly sure what.
Hmm. I think one of the things that's more cultural, well, this isn't actually cultural, it's more healthcare, but I feel like people will be more wary of bacteria and more, just careful of what they touch. I mean, it's like a plant thing, right? Like people say that it takes 3 months to form a habit, and you're constantly washing your hands, using hand sanitizer, wearing face masks. I'm hoping, that it has some type of effect on how cleanly people treat themselves.
Yeah.
That could be one thing.
Um, yeah, I feel like masks might become like a not a mainstay, but not weird.
For sure.
Like
Like it could be a part of like the fashion.
it could be a part of fashion. And in 10 years, like if I'm walking in the street, there's no pandemic going on in 10 years, hopefully. But and I see like a person wearing a mask, I will not at all be like weirded out. Whereas in 2 years ago, I'd be like, why the hell is that guy wearing a mask for no reason?
Yeah, does he think he's in like Japan or Korea?
Mm. Yeah, and I think that like in China, I think it's a big thing already to wear masks. I think
Yeah.
um I think in 2003, I'm not sure if like my timing is correct, they had the SARS virus, and from then on, a lot of people wear masks there, so it might be like that, maybe worldwide. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna bring something up, but I forgot. So never mind.
I apologize. Um, yeah, I wonder. I keep thinking about how this will affect music. Like, are artists right now like in their homes working? Like, it depends on the artist, obviously, but is like Ed Sheeran, in his home working on music right now? And if so, how is it being affected? We've heard some like lockdown songs. Like, I think Justin Bieber and Selena have a lockdown song, "Stuck with You." Is that Justin
Hmm.
and Selena? I
It's
think
Justin and Ariana.
Justin and Ariana. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Justin and Selena wouldn't make a song together.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's songs like that. But I wonder like if there will be more songs like that in the future.
Well, that's just like a single. I would hope that there would be like projects, that are based
Yeah.
around this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There was like this one mixtape that came out um by what's his name? The baby guy. Babe,
Yeah.
what's his name?
The baby, the baby.
Yeah, the baby. I mean, his none of his songs. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they do, but none of the songs actually related to COVID or the pandemic. But
Yeah.
the cover art was him with the mask on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, maybe he's just capitalizing off that hype. But yeah, I wonder if there's like any big artists at this moment making absolute gems right now that are maybe focused around the pandemic and maybe what it means like to be isolated for months on end and what that can do to your mental state. I mean, that
Yeah.
would be really interesting.
That'd be great. Tame Impala could do something like that.
Oh, bro, don't worry. Tame Impala is coming in 4 years. He takes
I know.
hiatuses for
I
so
was just
long.
gonna say, like, if he hadn't released this year, then maybe he would be working on that right now.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
wouldn't
this
mind that.
man,
That sounds amazing.
yeah, I think he already makes songs about like isolation and stuff. But yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Frank Ocean was supposed to be releasing an album this year, but he's not doing
mm,
it anymore because obviously what it's happening.
yeah,
Um, what would make me so mad if he did have an album that he wanted to release, but he
hmm
just scrapped it completely and started making a new one that's based around what we're talking about.
that might happen. But
That would
also,
make me
like,
so mad.
his brother died too, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, his brother died in a car accident apparently.
Was this recent?
Yeah, like just maybe a month ago, 2 months ago.
Oh yeah, 4 weeks ago. Dead at 18. Oh no.
Yep.
Rip.
And like
Rest
that's
in
why
peace.
like people also think like, oh, that is obviously going to affect his music in some manner as well. And yeah,
Oh, that's so sad.
I didn't even know he had a brother, but like it's Frank Ocean. Oh, he talks about it in Nikes, I think.
His brother?
He talks about it, I think. He says something. Um, Actually, no, he talks about his little cousin, not his brother.
I think he talks about his brother in Future Free.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Wow, that's really sad. Yeah,
it is.
maybe that might also tie in with what we're talking about.
Yeah, it is. It is really sad. Uh,
I have to change the topic. Well, not topic, but like to segue into something else. I
yeah.
think The Weeknd actually had an album completely written and prepared that was based around like essentially love songs in a
Hmm.
positive light around Selena. But
Yeah,
once they broke up, he just scrapped it completely and he just made My Dear Melancholy.
yeah, yeah. I think that did
That's
happen.
that is so frustrating. Like
It's
I wonder what.
frustrating to him and to us.
Yeah, it's a lose lose. Maybe he like took some songs off that and put it into After Hours. Who knows?
Maybe he did. Um, but yeah, the weekend Lucy's, bro, they're a gold mine. Let me tell you,
They hit, huh?
they're really good.
So
Um,
are those Lucy's only from Kissland?
well, the ones that he just released, yeah, they're only from Kidsland.
I see.
Yeah, he's like, oh, thank you guys for appreciating Kissland so much because people don't really like it or people don't know about it, in popular culture, I guess.
Hmm.
And he's like, yo, here are some Lucy's from Kissland era.
That's so blessed. That's so nice of him.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. He takes care of us. He takes care of us fans.
Does the Weekend fan base have a name for themselves?
Uh no, they probably only call themselves EXO.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's better than calling themselves like, I don't know, Weekenders or something.
Or like Believers.
Yeah, Seleners. The Barbies.
Does Drake have a fan? Maybe OVO, but no one calls himself that.
Yeah,
It,
I mean, Drake is like so like has such a broad fan base that it's just Drake, you know?
yeah, yeah. Once you're so big, you don't really. Well, actually, that's a lie. Because there's like the Beehive, but
Yeah, but even Beyonce has like a what's it called? Like a general audience
mhm.
that like that she caters to. I feel like Drake caters to literally every single person in the world.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. You know, I think about how this COVID situation would affect movies because
Yeah.
obviously you already know they're gonna make hundreds and hundreds of documentaries and like fictional accounts of what happens during this time.
Hmm.
And even like with
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Well, you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say even like in terms of making movies, like there's still movies being made at this moment, and
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much of a headache it would be to, implement all those like socially distancing rules, to wear masks all the time,
Hmm.
to be completely safe. I mean, it must have been like a logistic nightmare.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of stuff is like just stuck in pre-production or production right now because of this, which sucks for like everybody involved, I guess.
Hmm.
I'm thinking like, maybe in 30 years, like we're gonna get movies set in 2020, right? And that'll
Of
be so
course.
interesting to see like what's gonna be about. It might not even be like specifically about, COVID or anything like that. It might just be about someone and their life right now. But that'd be really cool. And I think
Yeah.
maybe as like our generation gets older and into the movie making age, that'll come up more and more. You know how right now we have like a big 80s and 70s thing going on?
Hmm.
I think incrementally that's just going to keep going. And then at one point we're going to reach 20 like 10 to 2020, and I'm really excited to see what kind of stuff they're going to like throw at us then.
Yeah. Me too, man. Like again, going back to the idea of like isolation and being alone.
Mhm.
You can see these themes like trickling into these movies coming out. Hopefully, like for
Mhm.
example, Taxi Driver or even Joker. You already see those types of themes in that film, but maybe you could take it a step further and implement it with COVID. Who knows?
Mhm. Would be very interesting. I'm excited, bro. This type of stuff is like, it fuels art, which is cool.
Yeah, not like uh, not like stupid comedy movies by Seth Rogen.
I, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I'm joking.
You like Seth Rogen more than me.
Yeah, I do. I like Sausage Party. It was interesting.
Oh, that's Seth Rogen, eh?
Yeah,
What did you think about the interview?
the interview.
Yeah.
Okay, I I already knew where the entire movie was going before I even watched it because I saw the Vice documentary about North Korea, and that's
Okay.
pretty much what it was based off of. So
Okay.
in terms of like full enjoyment, I didn't fully enjoy it, but I thought the concept and like the themes and everything were really out there, and they were taking a massive risk because they're like borderline introducing like you know,
Yeah.
geopolitical themes into the movie, which is pretty crazy. And they're
Yeah.
like essentially destroying the leader of North Korea on film and
Mhm.
like making a joke out of him. So I thought that was very brave of them.
Mhm.
They had some really funny quotes and scenes in there. Like for example, when Eminem he confesses on that show that he's gay. Like that was like one of the funniest moments in the movie.
I do not remember this, but okay.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna reenact it, but I thought it was okay. I gave it like a 7, I think.
Yeah. I think the most interesting part was like the pre-release. Like you were talking about how it's like kind of controversial in a way.
Yeah, I
And
mean when
that
the
was pretty
trailer came
cool.
out, I
Yeah.
remember like everyone was talking about it.
I thought
Yeah,
it was okay. Not a big fan.
I have like a prediction for movies in the future, and at least
Yeah,
in the next 5 years. I feel like there won't be that many comedy movies coming out. I feel like it'll be a lot more dark in nature,
really.
maybe because I don't know. Think about it. Like no one wants to. Of course, people want to laugh, and there's an audience for that. But I feel like the heart of the writers is not there at the moment,
Okay,
and I feel like that's gonna trickle into the production of movies as well. But who
that
knows?
that might be true. I feel like I'm not sure about that because people talk about like how comedy is like fueled by like I don't know. They always talk about like tragedy and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
don't know too
true.
much about comedy, but like they do that a lot.
And they say sorry, laughter is the best medicine. So
Yeah, we'll see. But do you feel like right now do you think that people are like sad right now? Do you think people are like down right now?
I would say so
Mm.
because like it's hard to say because us as students, like we don't really have a full perspective on what's happening. Like I
Yeah.
read a I read a statistic the other day that 5 million Americans have no money in their bank account at the moment, and
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like, man, if I was in that position, I don't know where I would even start. I mean, no one's hiring. All these places are closed down. There's riots in the street. Like, how can you
Yeah.
not be sad?
Yeah. And these are people without like probably very good education or credentials as well. So like it's probably very difficult for them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
completely agree.
even if they do have those credentials, I mean, it's hard to find a job regardless, right? Like a year ago, they were maybe earning like 70K a year, and now they're earning nothing.
Hmm. Yeah, I do think we have a very like very skewed perspective. Like I feel like I've been so insulated from all these like negative stuff, like knock on wood. But I feel like, just because of like our position in Canada as well, I feel like we've been insulating from that, which I'm very thankful for.
Right. I mean, it's a privilege to not be able to think about that type of stuff.
Yeah. Do you like remember when we had our fire, right? So we had a fire at the end of in our hometown at the end of our grade 12.
Yeah,
Basically
there was
right
like
before a couple months before school ended.
right, it was
And
like a wildfire, and we were forced to evacuate
yes,
the city.
it was yeah, exactly. And we evacuated to like different places and it was a very fun time, I think, for the people who like didn't lose their homes, of course. But it was a very fun time for like me and my friends. I didn't really get that feeling from this.
Yeah, of course not, because that was like on a much smaller scale. And
Mhm.
again, like when you walk out right now, you know that it's being affected to every single person you see. And you've never had that before, you know? Like you've never
Mhm.
had an event that is that is so overarching in everyone's lives.
Mhm.
And in a way that brings you some form of comfort because you know you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just having that like same level playing field, it's very weird and it's hard to come to grips with.
Yeah. It
So
is super weird.
yeah, and with the fire, I mean, I, like at the end of the day, like you just received pity and sympathy, whereas
Mhm.
now it's like okay, like you don't get that because we're all going through this.
Mhm. Yeah, interactions are so like weird now. Like I don't know. It's like I don't really think any like I don't really know if anyone I came into contact with had like coronavirus, but there's always like a feeling, and you can tell that both parties have like a wariness about each other if you don't know them at least, you know. And I feel like that's such a like I hate that. That's very icky to me. I don't like that. I wish it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it's like a field or like a barrier between the two people.
Yeah, yeah. It's strong. It's a strong barrier. Like it feels
Even
weird walking past someone on the sidewalk. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, even small things like if you're at the gym and you want to pick up some weights and there's someone in front of you, if you get too close, like they'll back away from you, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And like obviously I understand why, but just the fact that that happens, like I don't know, it's unnerving.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it. But we'll see what happens. Um, yeah. I I feel like it's very interesting that us as a nation and I guess like the entire world is like under the same effect. It's under the same like Yeah, it's under the same effect of the exact same issue. I feel like
Hmm.
we haven't had that, at least in our lifetime, we haven't had that yet.
We haven't.
Yeah.
And like it's interesting to see how the supply chains are being affected. I mean, now so not so much, but in the beginning, definitely. Like there
Mhm.
was definitely a real and completely backed worry that we might not be able to get food on our table for the next few
Mhm.
months.
Mhm.
And that's a crazy thought. And that's why people were in Superstore and Costco just going absolutely ham on anything they could find and just storing it, like real doomsday preppers type.
Mainly toilet paper. That's the most important
Mainly
item.
toilet paper. Yep.
But yeah,
All these like cleaning utilities and stuff. That's all you need.
yeah. We as a culture, a society, I guess, are very, very, dependent on the supply chain. So it would be it would be terrible if it all broke down.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know what my family would do. Like, I do not know what we would do at that point.
I mean,
It
you
would
got to
be
learn how to farm. You got to
a
raise some
farm.
chickens.
There's no farmland. There's only a road around me.
Oh no, I know where you live. There's a park right beside you.
There's a park you're right. There's a park right beside them. But yeah, it's very, very interesting times.
Yeah, I've asked this to my friends a couple months ago, but I'll ask it again. Right now we're 21 and all this is going down.
Mhm.
Would you rather be 18 or 21 when all this happens?
Mhm. Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
I think I would rather be 18.
really? Ah,
Hmm.
I think I'd rather be 20. Oh, I'm 22 right now, so I think I'd rather be 22.
Okay. Why is that?
Why do you Okay, I guess I'll explain first. Um, at 18 at 18, I was just so excited for, like, the next step in my life
Hmm.
that this would have been like, it would have been so crushing. It would have been so crushing for me that I didn't get to go, have the first year experience and the independent lifestyle that I want to have, that I've been looking forward to for, like, the past 12 years of my life.
Hmm.
Um, that I think that would be absolutely crushing to me. I mean, obviously I'd get through it. I'd just be like, man, this is extremely cheese. Um, at 22, I'm still annoyed, but like the allure of like school, I don't really feel it anymore. Obviously, this has an impact now. This has like a tangible impact on my career, which is obviously a big negative.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like I'm not as emotionally connected to that as I would be emotionally connected to like the school stuff at 18.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Mhm.
I think in terms of like if you're looking at it from a risk averse perspective, I think being 18 while when all this is happening could be like a very big advantage because so let's say you go into an industry that's heavily reliant on maybe it's entertainment or maybe it's something where you need to be in front of people. And then when you're 21 and you're about to graduate and you go into this field, all this happens, like that could really crush you. Secondly,
Yep.
this is very personal, but or not personal, but it's like it's for myself. I would probably take a gap year if this happened if I was 18 years old,
Mhm.
and that would like probably help me probably find myself more in terms of what I want to do in school. Because
Mhm.
when I was 18 and I actually went to school, I wasn't 100% sure about it, and like, what do you know? I ended up switching out of my major, so it could have helped with that. Secondly, I think either way it's gonna be cheese, as you put it, because like I mean I'm mad right now, but even back then I would have been mad. So I don't think I think that kind of cancels each other out.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. Maybe I guess the biggest thing is just having the forethought of your career. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing.
Yeah. I think that's really good. What if what if you had to be this is kind of a pretty dumb idea, but what if you had to be, let's say, 19 or 20 before you could attend university? And then people kind of are forced to take a year off
Mm,
after school. Like, this would never happen, and I think it's kind of dumb, but what do you think would happen if that did happen?
I think there would be a lot more younger people in the workforce, especially like retail jobs and stuff.
Mhm.
I think people would be forced to volunteer a lot more as well to keep themselves busy.
Mhm.
So I think in that sense, in the long run, it would be good because you're really building experience for yourself. Like I know so many people who are in first year who, at least when I was in first year, who got into school and they got into engineering or whatever degree they're in, and they focused all of their time into schooling.
Yeah.
And by the time they got into fourth year, they didn't have enough experience because they spent all their time in school.
Mhm.
And when you apply for jobs, that's what you need. You need extracurricular experience. So it might help in that sense in the long run. But on the other hand, universities would never allow for that because they need that money coming in.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
if
think overall it wouldn't work out.
yeah. Do you think it's like a good thing in the perspective of the students?
Um, I think in the perspective of students, yeah, it might be a good thing. I think that, sometimes people need some time off and, like and I feel like at 17 and 18, we're not really fully prepared to make such a life-altering decision. Probably 1 year later, it doesn't like, probably making it at 19 isn't that, big of a difference either, but, like, maybe that 1 year of kinda experiencing the real world in a way gives you some sort of perspective that makes you make a better decision. Maybe
Yeah,
you don't wanna go to
exactly.
university, you know? Maybe you don't want to, and that's something you can explore.
hmm Maybe you want to get a certificate from another like technician school or something like that.
Yeah, and, like, we know people who've done that, and they do great.
Yeah, maybe you want to be a real estate. Maybe you want to be a real estate agent, and you end up
Mhm,
killing it because of it.
mhm.
So
But, yeah, I guess we're speaking from, like, a very, like, first generation immigrant perspective,
yeah,
but yeah.
I do think that as time goes on, the idea of getting a college education is being diminished with the advent of the internet because
Mhm.
you can do so much, that doesn't require a degree, and
That's
that you
true.
can and you can really get set up and you can start making money within a year. Whereas
Mhm.
university takes 4 years and you might end up being unemployed because let's say that industry is too saturated.
Yeah. Like, some stuff you cannot learn out of university for sure, but if you just want, like, a job, I think you should be able to do that without university.
Yeah, sure, certainly.
Um
Especially if you live in Canada.
Mhm. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes, I hope it gets cheaper.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
And universities will have to, like, probably change as well, with the times.
Hmm. I mean, I think they're already changing at the moment because
Yeah.
like they're getting so used to online learning.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll ever move to only online, like, the major ones at least.
Right.
That
I mean, I think there are some universities who do have online programs. Like I think University of Phoenix,
Mhm.
they do like online schooling, and like that's
Okay.
another way to generate money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think any of the Canadian ones will really realistically do it for another, like in the 5 years, let's say.
Mhm.
I read something crazy a few days ago, and I
What's
don't know
that?
if this is true, but goes back to like the COVID conversation. I read that the virus strain is actually mutating in different areas depending on their environment. So
Mm.
if we find a vaccine for the American strain, it
Mhm.
might not work for the Indian one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Isn't that
If it
terrifying?
mutates if it mutates enough, yeah, that makes sense. Um, that is very terrifying though.
Like, whoa,
Uh,
is this just what we're doing now? Like, that's just the world we live in?
I feel like if it was like that, then people would just accept it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the only thing we can do, right? But
yeah.
I mean, I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I hope it's false. I hope
I
the
wonder
headline was just trying to get clicks.
I wonder how quickly we're gonna find a vaccine. I think it's gonna be. I think we'll have a vaccine by next summer.
Next summer. Yeah, that's a pretty like it's a pretty liberal or a conservative estimate
Yeah,
because people were saying by the end of this year, and I don't know if that's true.
I was thinking maybe that's possible, but that might be a bit early. Um, But I think it's very possible because, like, I'm assuming so much funding is going into a vaccine right now. Like, I wonder how much is going, but it's probably more than the funding that goes into, like, other diseases and other
Just an
things.
ungodly amount,
Yeah,
probably.
like, probably everyone's just pouring everything into this right now. So I'm assuming it's gonna be found pretty quick.
Yeah, but I mean, finding a vaccine is one thing. Administrating is like another.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be up to, like, the governments, I guess,
Right. There's gonna be like
doing
a
it
bidding
doing it
war.
properly. And then
Dude.
there'll be a bidding war, doing it properly, and, like, I feel like different countries are gonna have different, like, quality of, like, how well it's done. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and all this is happening during an election year. Like, what the fuck? Bro, this is crazy. Have you
2020
like
crazy.
have you never not looked forward to the next 3 months more than this?
You're not looking forward to it?
No, I'm not.
Oh, yo,
Dude,
I'm excited.
you okay, yeah, you're excited because we live in Canada, but if you live in America, like these are scary times, man. Like, bro, the closer it gets to election, like the scarier it is to be in the streets. Like for real.
Mm. The America, yeah. 2020 is really a hell of a year for America. Um, I think a lot of I think maybe the majority of Americans are feeling very anxious about the next few months. So yeah, I can feel that.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. At least it's not an election year in Canada. I don't know
Yeah,
what that would look like.
yeah, man. I'm excited as an outsider who is still very heavily influenced by American politics. I'm interested to seeing what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, it should be a good time. You know, those
It
presidential debates.
yeah, yeah. That's starting this next month now, September. So tomorrow or like next month, I guess, whenever it is.
Yeah. Well, that's like one thing that I'm looking forward to. And not even like I'll be cringing most of the time. I already know it. But you know, I'm a sadist, so
I'm honestly looking forward to it more than like the NBA finals. Like I'm hyped.
bro, the NBA is like a whole other thing.
The NBA is a whole nother thing. But
I mean,
yeah.
sports in general, but man,
How does it
let's
go ahead?
no, you go.
Well, I'm wondering, like, how do you think it feels to be like a Canadian? You know, we're so influenced and invested in American stuff, like politics, sports, like whatever's happening in America. We're really invested in it. But you know, we don't really play a role properly because we're Canadian. Um, that kind of annoys me. You know, I wish I could play a role. Of course, I love being Canadian, but like I wish I could have some sort of like influence.
In what sense do you mean?
Um,
Because like the biggest role that we have in America is the
mhm.
oil that we bring into them.
Mhm. I was speaking more of like an individual, not like a country.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
More like on a political like voting type of sense. Not that I want to vote in America, but like more of that sort of thing.
But isn't that a privilege that Americans have that outsiders don't?
Yeah, exactly it is. But like we as Canadians are so close to America. You know, we're I feel like us the American and Canada must be like two of the most like similar countries in the world.
Mm,
Like like our cultures are literally intertwined, in my opinion.
somewhat, maybe. That's debatable because like people you can argue that the multicultural aspects of Canada are synonymous with the freedom aspects of America,
Mhm.
but I still feel like the population difference, like and the different types of people in America due to that population difference, it
Mhm.
just overshadows everything. Like you
Mm.
can find literally like so many different cultures in America.
Mhm.
When you're talking about like let's say Los Angeles to New York to Texas to like Minnesota to Pennsylvania, I mean, the list goes on and on. Even Alaska, even Hawaii. I mean, you can find so many different types of people. But when you look at Canada, the people from Manitoba and the people from Vancouver are much more similar than the people from Hawaii to the people from New York.
Yeah, yeah. That might be true.
Yeah, but I mean, I do agree in a sense that like we're heavily influenced by America.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Mhm.
what way could we be? could we influence them?
Mm,
I don't know if
I
there is a way.
I don't think there really is a way at all. Yeah, I mean, we influence them because we export the best musicians in the world. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's literally it. Bro, like Toronto is like a fucking like cultural pot that Americans just take from. They just dip their hands in and just take one at a time.
Yeah, yeah. Have him. Have the weekend. You have Drake. You have him. Have him.
I have Justin Bieber.
And Justin Bieber and Ryan Gosling. You can have Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Have Ryan Reynolds too.
Yeah.
Have
They're
Seth
just,
Rogen.
they're just Canadian agents. They've infiltrated into the highest forms of American media. But yeah, Canada, I like it. I watched a video about how Canada has like a very apparently it's weird. Canada has like a left wing nationalism because they love comparing themselves to America and like talking about how much better it is in Canada because of like free what do you call it? Free healthcare for all and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that's kind of interesting.
So wait, Canadians, could you explain that again?
Like Canadians, they have a left wing nationalism because they show off like stuff like healthcare and stuff when comparing to Americans, and
Mm.
like that's like how Canadians like I don't know. That's how Canadians like I don't know. I don't know really know what I'm saying, but yeah.
I can see what you're saying because often when Canadians talk about America, I mean this is like for any country that's not American. When we talk about America, we kind of have like this undertone of disrespect where, we can always look for things in our country that are better.
Hmm.
And like that's like the metric we use. But
Mm.
no, I can definitely see that. I mean,
Hmm.
it's like America is like a reality TV show, whereas every other country is like a documentary.
Mm. Yeah, and like all gas no brakes, they shed light on the reality TV.
Yeah, for anyone listening, there's this YouTube channel called All Gas No Breaks. It's like this Borat style interviewer where he goes to all these different events, whether it be flat Earth conferences, he goes to Burning Man, even goes to these protests that are popping up left and right, and he just interviews people, and it is the most raw form of journalism I have seen in years. I mean, seriously, talk about like just showing off these different events for what it is and not talking over anyone, not looking for sound bites. I mean, it is such a raw look at these events, and I highly recommend anyone to search it up and watch the videos because it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It is very interesting. I just like binged a few today.
Yeah, and it's weird because obviously like he's a relatively new channel. I'm looking here and his latest video, sorry, his oldest video is from 11 months ago,
Wow.
but it had 1.7 million views. So I'm wondering, like, was there any lead up to this, or did it just happen? I always wonder that about YouTube channels that have like less than
Yeah.
like 30 views,
I'm
or sorry, 30 videos.
I'm wondering that about like musicians too. Like, did Juice World have like a mixtape or two out before what do you call it? That one song,
Lucid Dreams.
Lucid Dreams. Yeah,
Well, people were saying that he was an industry plant for a long time.
really.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that really works. I would assume it's easier to find those types of people now that, with the invention of SoundCloud.
Hmm.
But yeah, I wonder that too. We don't have the answers, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
interesting to think about.
yeah. One of the artists that I listen to right now, he has 105 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Whoa, you hipster.
I just flexing that for a moment, but I feel like he's leading up to become an industry plant, bro. I'm telling you,
Really?
his
Wait, say
music,
say his name.
Vincent. I've sent his stuff.
Vincent.
Yeah, sent his stuff to you earlier, but I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
I've heard of
bro. Oh, he had like 5 or 6 songs. They're all gone. Only two are left.
it. Yo, what does that mean?
I'm telling you, bro. That's actually very weird. He
Is
had
he
a
signed
song.
to anyone?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, he's ripe for the picking.
I feel like he's already an industry plant, and they're gonna like blow him up, in like a year or two, maybe a few months. but
Yeah,
pretend
once
that
all this
he's
subsides.
but pretend that he's known or not known.
Vincent. That's a good name, actually.
Yeah.
I think the name is so important for
Yeah.
any form of media. Like it's like the first impression almost.
Mm.
Like I wasn't watching, but I was on Netflix and I was looking for these different movies to watch. And like we've all been there. On Netflix we're just scrolling for like we're honestly spending more time scrolling than watching a movie. And I was looking at all these different movies, and there's this one movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. I think Ryan Reynolds is in it too, and it's like a space adventure. I was like, "What? This came
Mhm.
out like 2 3 years ago. How have I not heard about this?" And then I look at the title, and the title is Life. That's the name of the movie, and I'm like, "Okay, that is why I didn't hear about it. What a terrible name! Like, have you guys even like heard of SEO? Like, who would ever search that up and find it?
SEO.
Yeah, search engine optimization.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to be looking for it to find it.
Yeah. I mean, come on, think of something cooler. That's such a terrible name.
Yeah. I I I often think about how like I think Kendrick has talked about this. He used to call himself K Dot beforehand, and
Mhm.
then he's like, I changed my name to my real name because I wanted to be like honest and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, half of his real name.
Really?
Yeah, isn't his real last name Duckworth?
Oh, it might be Duckworth.
But Kendrick is his like actual name.
I should know this.
Yeah, you should. You're a big fan.
I am. Kendrick
Um.
Lamar's his middle name, but yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. So it's like a half truth.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
even with his nicknames, I mean, obviously his stage name is Kendrick Lamar, but he goes by K Dot, he goes by Kung Fu Kenny, and he
yeah,
probably has like one or two more. So,
yeah. He does.
and even Drake, like he goes by Drizzy, One Take Drake, all these different names.
What's Drake's name? Oh,
Drake Graham,
Aubrey Graham.
Aubrey Graham. Yeah, I think Drake is probably like his middle name or something.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Dude, if I chose my middle name as like my stage name, it would be so bad.
Yo, same.
Oh man, I can just imagine it. Oh, that'd be so funny.
I would just use my normal name, I think.
Yeah, same. Oh, maybe not my normal name because there's already a pretty big pop star with my name.
Really? Oh, yeah. Okay, okay.
All about that SEO. You gotta
I
optimize.
mean, your full name.
My full name. Yeah, actually, my last name's not bad. I think
Mm-hmm.
it could work.
Mm. Yeah, I'm kind of worried though. Like if I post something, like what if like an employer will see it? Like
Yeah.
what if a future employer of mine listens to this podcast? What will they think? I mean, they might be impressed.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean we're having some pretty interesting conversations, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually just searched up my name as we were talking about this,
Mm-hmm.
and something really interesting came up. So apparently, someone in my extended family has created a family tree on Ancestry.com, and my name is in it.
Really?
Yeah,
That's not good.
that could be cool. That could be cool. Um, wow, this is interesting. Okay, this is a project for another time.
I found your LinkedIn.
Oh, did you? Oh, you haven't went on that in some while. I should go on that.
Yeah, I don't like LinkedIn.
Dude, isn't it so funny how they turned LinkedIn into a social media? Like,
Yeah,
think about how toxic that is. Oh
yeah.
my God. And like people can endorse your skills. So it
I
becomes a competition.
yeah. To me, like I really I despise going and looking at the feed on LinkedIn and like reading all this like weird stuff people have to say.
Yeah.
It's not like Twitter. Twitter people are like almost candid with their stuff. If extreme but candid. At least, but this is like it's like they're like trying to like portray a certain like work self, and it's really weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to up their own professional self-image.
Yep, yep. Which
Nah,
I mean, maybe you have to do that. Maybe that's good, but
you do.
it's not for me.
But Can you get away with not doing it though? I think it's kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a mainstay.
I
Do
think
you
you can
think you
get
can get
away.
away?
Yeah, I think you can get away from it. Like you should have a LinkedIn and you should have all your experience on there for sure. But you don't need to be like making a update every 2 days about like some random like anecdote about working.
Right. Or have like thousands of connections.
Yeah. Ooh.
Man, that is so annoying to me. Holy shit. I'm on LinkedIn right now and I'm just looking through it. And who thought this was a good idea?
I think it's mainly for like recruiters, so they can have like a pool of people to just pick from.
That makes sense. But I guess I meant more in terms of like which developer thought it was a good idea to implement the social media aspects of it. Like
Mm.
the original idea is great, connecting people through professional settings.
Mm-hmm.
That's great, but why do you have to like be so extra about it?
Mm-hmm. It was founded
Yeah.
by the founding team members of PayPal.
Ah, interesting.
Damn, PayPal is really they really had some good alumni, eh?
All right, you want to hear something crazy?
What?
So I searched up my full name,
Mm-hmm.
and you remember how I told you that I used to um, play chess when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I just searched up my name, and apparently I'm in a database of a chess school from when I was in grade six, and I have a score out of 300, and it's 278.
Out of 300.
Yeah,
Uh,
278 out of 300. That's pretty good for like grade six.
that is pretty good.
Wow, this is wild. This is like my old elementary school here.
Wow.
Everything is online. Everything is there forever.
Yeah, I don't like that. Wait, I haven't even seen this. I think I found
What?
my dad's LinkedIn.
Oh no. Yo, that's low-key terrifying.
Oh my. Okay, well I can't. Oh, yep. Oh, there he is. I see his picture. Damn. Okay.
Bruh.
I'm leaving that. I don't even want to like look at that. Not that
Bad
I don't want to look at
vibes.
my dad. It's just kind of like weird looking at my dad's LinkedIn.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man. Back in my day, we didn't need LinkedIn.
You know what comes up when I search my name? My letterbox.
Oh, that's actually really cool. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. My LinkedIn, my Facebook, and my Instagram, and my letterbox. And there's like pictures of like my friends in the images.
That's creepy.
I'm just happy my Ask FM doesn't show up, bro. That's all I'm happy about.
Didn't you delete it?
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's deleted.
Okay, well, you have nothing to worry about then.
Yeah. Whoa.
What's up?
I nothing. I'm looking at something from like JA.
JA. Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. A lot of stuff is coming up, a lot of stuff.
All right, anyways, let's shift the topic to something else.
I was thinking of just ending it soon.
All right. Is there like a timer?
It's been about an hour. It's been an hour, over an hour.
Over an hour? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll talk for like 5 more minutes and then we'll end it.
All right, sure.
So, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Um, well, I did. There was one thing I want to talk about. I want to
What's up?
talk about Tenet.
Okay. What about it?
I'm just super excited, bro.
Yeah. Have you booked your tickets?
No, but maybe I'll go today.
Yeah. I mean, okay. If you go, watch an IMAX. Please watch an IMAX. You don't have to buy
Ah,
popcorn. You don't have to buy anything. But what you do have to buy is an IMAX ticket.
It's so far.
Who
But
cares?
I'm super excited, bro. Uh, Bro, I think this is gonna be his best movie.
All right, chill. Don't have such high expectations
No, why not?
because I don't know. I've been reading some stuff online, and obviously not to spoil anything for anyone here.
Mm.
Uh, but I don't know if it's gonna be his best movie, but we'll see. It really depends on like your expectations going into it. If you really want to like it, I'm sure you'll like it.
Yeah, like I've never been excited for a Christopher Nolan movie, but like this is getting me into it, bro.
You know what's crazy?
What?
So I was watching Memento a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
which is like one of his first movies, and in that movie he deals with time in like a very non-chronological manner. And when you're first watching it, like you don't really know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first shots in the movie is him, like the main character, pointing a gun at a dead body,
Mm-hmm.
and the time going backwards.
Mm.
And
Oh.
you like see him shoot him backwards, and the bullet goes back into the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that, and my mind just exploded because I'm like, oh my goodness! Like, I wonder how much of his own influence is in this new movie of his, in Tenet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because even if you pay attention to like the color gradient of the movie, it's very much like Interstellar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a very like sepia slash beige coloring, which was like very prominent in Interstellar.
Yeah.
So that could be like an influence there. Obviously, he's dealing. I'm sure he'll have some type of like a non-chronological storyline or something like that. So I don't know. It's just crazy how you can like take a look at even like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and look at all the different influences that Tarantino had on himself.
Yeah.
I find that really cool.
I do really like that too. I like seeing like I guess there are like overarching themes that, make themselves known in a director or like any artist. But like with
Right.
directors you see it very often. Like obviously I don't really know about Quentin Tarantino, but like, you can see the influences. Obviously Christopher Nolan has like a big thing about time. He loves it.
Yeah, or just like he's always into like the plot twists or like the
Yeah.
thriller aspect. He really
Yeah.
pushes that narrative.
Yeah. I think a reason people really like Christopher Nolan films, like I'm not disparaging them because I like them too, but a reason like a lot of people who like them who are not really into movies too much is because their narrative and like their story is very like interesting and fun. It's very like cool. And
Right.
as like a normal viewer of movies, the narrative is like the most important thing. Like you ever like show someone a good movie or like talk to somebody about a good movie and they'll say like, "Oh, nothing really even happened," or like, "I don't really get what happened." But like, the point of the movie wasn't like a story. There might be another point of the movie, right?
Hmm.
Um, so I think that's like a big thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a big reason. I know, like
Yeah.
to tie that into like the story itself. He always takes these themes or these ideas that tend to be like very complicated, and he condenses them into something that audiences could just digest and easily understand.
Hmm.
Like I know this is like a quite a cliche trope, but when we were talking about Interstellar, in the movie he talks about time travel, and he like folds a piece of paper and puts a pencil through it, and
Hmm.
that's how he explains how you can travel through a black hole.
Hmm.
And it's just like, okay, that's a really like visual and easy understanding of a black hole. Obviously it's way more complicated than that, but it's for the audience. And yeah, it's a big thing. Even like dreams within dreams, like how can you make that digestible for an audience? But he somehow makes it work.
Yeah. He does a really good job, man. Can't lie.
Yeah, even with movies like The Prestige, where it's not really thriller, it's more so like drama based and story based.
Hmm.
He still finds a way to make it interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, I have to watch his discography, more of it at least.
Yeah, I think Prestige is like one of my favorite films.
Hmm.
All right, well, I think that's everything, eh?
We can wrap it up.
All right, well, if you're still watching or listening, we thank you, and who knows, we might be doing this every week, maybe every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
this
so
was
much.
fun. Yep, thank you everyone for watching. My name is Zane. This is Sunith, and you're watching the Litmus Test podcast.